Welcome to the Yappin podcast. I'm your host, Rafa, and let's start yapping. So, Super Bowl came and went. The Patrick Mahomes is not the GOAT talk, was never going to be the GOAT talk. All of that is rambling on and on everywhere. And yes, Mahomes did lose. He didn't play great. The team didn't play great. They were outcoached. Whatever. It's all done now, right? So my issue is why, when we talk about these GOATs, Tom Brady supposedly, Michael Jordan supposedly, why do we never, why do we kind of knock the guys now that are on the verge, on pace, possibly already there in Patrick Mahomes and LeBron James? Why do we not talk about the bad times for Tom Brady, the bad times for Michael Jordan? Why do we miss those? Why do we forget that in Michael Jordan's first 6 seasons, this man struggled and was 5 games under 500 in his first 6 playoff appearances? Why do we not bring that up? How can a man be a GOAT when he struggled that badly? Okay, with Tom Brady, 10 seasons without a Super Bowl. Okay, he went to 2 Super Bowls in his prime, right? In what we say prime. I'm not saying that Tom Brady's not the best quarterback of all time. At least not. He might be the greatest winning quarterback of all time. Overall play, I prefer Patrick Mahomes. I prefer Aaron Rodgers. I prefer Peyton Manning. I prefer Dan Marino. But Tom Brady does have 7 Super Bowls. So, but what we tend to forget, and someone said this to me, oh, well, Mahomes has looked really bad in his 2 Super Bowl losses. Well, this last Super Bowl, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yes, the touchdowns were in basically garbage time, with the exception of the first one. Although they were still down, whatever the fuck it was, 34-0, 27-0, whatever it was. So it was basically garbage time just in the third quarter. But for me, it was still garbage, right? But we forget that Brady, the GOAT for all of you, he's 7 Super Bowls. He's 7-3 in the Super Bowl. And Mahomes is 3-2. Mahomes has plenty of, he's got ways to go. But Mahomes is on pace. And when you watch Mahomes, he's regressed. He's losing a step. Well, if we compare the 2 seasons at their age, we go back to Brady's 29-year-old season. As we look at Mahomes, they're almost identical. The only difference is that Mahomes went to the Super Bowl. Brady did not. So, but if we look at Brady, yes, he's won 7 Super Bowls. Brady has 3 Super Bowls where he's thrown 1 touchdown or less. His record in those 3 Super Bowls, 2-1. This man, he has 5 Super Bowl MVPs. The first Super Bowl that he won, this man threw for 146 yards. He had 1 touchdown in the Super Bowl. That was his only touchdown in the entire playoff run. The entire playoff run, this man has 1 Super Bowl. I know it was 2001. Super Bowl was in 2002, but it was his 2001 season. I know it was his first time. He had just started, yada, yada, yada. They gifted him a Super Bowl that his MVP clearly, who stopped the greatest team on turf, right? The greatest offense, whatever the fuck they called it. Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk. The list of talent was there. The defense won that game. Brady had 1 touchdown pass. He wins the Super Bowl MVP. He wins another Super Bowl against the Rams again, except this time it's the LA Rams. 13-3 game. He throws for, I believe it was 0 fucking touchdowns. Julian Edelman's the MVP, but he wins. So, and let's not forget the 18-0 season, where they were 18-0, probably the best team I've ever seen in my life. But in the Super Bowl, Mr. GOAT, Mr. Tom Brady, was terrible against a middle-of-the-pack defense. Well, we go back statistically and look at that Giants defense. Yes, they were phenomenal up front. But when we look at their regular season numbers, by the way, and in the playoffs, they allowed 14 points to Tampa Bay. I believe they allowed 17 to Dallas, and they might have allowed 20 to Green Bay. Tom Brady, Mr. GOAT, I believe only scored 14 in that game with Randy Moss. and Wes Welker. Tampa Bay had Jeff Garcia as the quarterback. They scored 14 points. So that defense, yes, in the playoffs, they got hot. They still allowed 14, 17, 20, and then 14. Okay. So, and the final game of the season, which was a great game, that game was 38-35. It wasn't like it was 17-20, 17-14. No, it was 38-35. That defense was able to move the ball up and down the field against that Giants team. But when it got to the Super Bowl, what happened to Mr. GOAT? He vanished, right? He also had 2 turnovers in that game. He had an interception and a fumble. So before you guys sit here and come out and criticize Mahomes and he's regressing and this and that, don't forget that your GOAT, Mr. Tom Brady, for a handful of seasons, didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay? For 10, to be exact, he didn't win one in his prime, but he also had struggles in his Super Bowl losses. Okay? And he had 2 wins with 1 touchdown or less. So, I mean, the criticizing of Mahomes is insane. He's not the GOAT, and in a lot of people's eyes, he's too young, blah, 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 blah. He's 29 years old. He went to 3 straight Super Bowls, and all of you Mahomes haters were shitting in your pants because he would have won that Super Bowl. And luckily, he didn't for other reasons. But if he would have won that Super Bowl, it would have been 3 in a row. And then, well, he still doesn't have, he's got as many as Montana and blah, 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 blah. So Mahomes is well on pace. He's not regressing, whether you believe it or not. His best player on offense is a player who has regressed, and we've seen it in these playoffs. Last year, you felt in the playoffs, during the regular season, he was regressing. He had an amazing playoffs last year in Travis Kelce. This year, he's been non-existent. And now we're starting to see footage come out of this game where you're starting to see the all-22, and you see this man, I mean, he's just standing still on a play where we're used to seeing Patrick Mahomes is kind of scrambling around back there. We're used to Kelce finding that empty pocket. And he was standing there. We're watching this clear blocks. I mean, he was late on snaps and all that. But
can I ask you a question, Rafa, on that?
Yes. Yes.
How many more years? How long does Kelce have?
He should retire. Kelce should retire because he's making so much money outside of the league, and
fucking Pfizer.
Yeah, and all of that, and he's got the Amazon deal, and he's got all sorts of shit. On top of that, he's together with Taylor Swift, who's got more money than God. So I mean, he's not playing for the money. Is he playing for the love of the game? Because he didn't look like he was loving the game at the Super Bowl because he didn't look good. He just didn't look good. The team didn't look good overall. I mean, the coaching was terrible and so on. He just didn't look good at all. And so I think he should be done. He should take a hard look at himself and say, fuck, this year I wasn't even a top 15 tight end problem. And so, and people are expecting Kelce to be kind of like, he's almost as good as Gronk and yada, yada. He's never going to be as good. He's never going to be as good as Gronk. He's not as good as Tony Gonzalez. My eyes, probably not better than Antonio Gates, but it might be a homer pick. But Kent State, baby. But at the end of the day, that's my issue with these GOATs, and that's the thing. Like, we tend to forget all of the struggles that they had, because for the most part, and I'm not saying this kind of refers a little bit more towards Jordan. All those idiots out there. Oh yeah, I remember Jordan. No, you didn't. Because you had like fucking 11 TV channels and you didn't watch. You didn't watch Michael Jordan on a nightly basis. And with Brady, we've seen Brady. We've seen Brady win Super Bowls at 35 plus years old, 40 years old. We've seen all that. Can Mahomes not do that? Are you guys saying that Mahomes is not going to do that? That's what all these people are assuming. And I can only go by what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is that this man at 29 years old has been to 5 Super Bowls. He's 17-4 in the playoffs. Okay? 17-4. Brady's record is 38-13. All right. So he's well on his way. He is well on his way. And I'd be shocked if the Chiefs didn't come out and make a move this year to get a receiver, to get a player to help him out, because obviously, clearly, his player is done. And when you want to go back and we look, Tom Brady had a prime Gronk. Prime Gronk. Kelce is now 2 years past his prime, maybe even 3. Although 2021 Kelce was phenomenal, 2019 Kelce, all those Kelces were phenomenal. Kelce 2023 in the playoffs was phenomenal. I mean, amazing. But we've seen him regress in the regular season for the last 2 years. And then this playoffs, he was just non-existent. Brady didn't have that with Gronk for the most part. Maybe just at Tampa. That was it. Brady had prime Gronk. Right in his fucking prime. And Aaron Hernandez for a little bit. Although I don't believe he won with Aaron Hernandez. He might have won 1 or 2. Whatever. But still. So the weapons that Brady had, although not great, because he didn't win with Randy Moss. Okay. Julian Edelman, let's be realistic, average at best. If he wasn't in that Patriot system, would we even give a fuck about him? Maybe. Okay. But so I'm not going to sit here and say Brady had all these weapons. But Mahomes has literally had none since Tyreek Hill left. And all of you guys wanted to describe, oh, yeah, Tyreek Hill's gone. He's done. It's over. Mahomes is blah, blah, blah. What does Mahomes do? He goes out and wins the next 2 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. But now you see, I mean, and listen, I'm not blaming that they lost the Super Bowl on not having enough weapons. They lost the Super Bowl because they were just outcoached, outmatched, out everything from the get-go.
Yes.
Okay, whether the Eagles had that number 1 defense, it was just stout. It was phenomenal. They did what they did, and we're not going to touch on that anymore. My issue is with the GOATs. All you motherfuckers out there who love Tom Brady, love Michael Jordan, fine. But let's not forget the lapses that they had in their careers and judge those lapses. Judge them when you judge Mahomes and LeBron as well. And when we get, like, where's LeBron's lapse? I don't know yet. We haven't seen it yet. And the man's 40 plus years old, right? And so we haven't seen that yet with LeBron. So, and with Mahomes, you saw a little bit and you're like, oh, yeah, he's done. Well, we didn't say Brady was done at 29. So it's unfair to Mahomes and all you, and it's just that it's Mahomes fatigue. Like it is Chiefs fatigue. Like you're tired of seeing them in the Super Bowl. You're tired of seeing them in the commercials. You're tired of all that. So at the end of the day, when you go to talk about Patrick Mahomes, just remember where Brady was at his career at this time. And then take that into consideration, not just pure Mahomes. So that's my take.
I did want you to get into this topic just really quickly. Both seasons are now over, which I want you to basically give your take on both the college football and NFL season in comparison, and then just to describe where college football is in comparison to the NFL. What's your take on that?
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the Super Bowl is still the biggest event in the world, sporting event, whatever. You know, it's basically, if not the biggest in the world, second biggest in the world, sometimes the Champions League's final. But at the end of the day, realistically, the Super Bowl is the biggest. So college football will never compare to that one game.
Right.
Like ever. I mean, it's just not. The Super Bowl halftime show is a fucking thing.
It's an international thing.
Yes, it's had, Michael Jackson and Prince, just stars of stars for years and years and years. Right? So on that level, now, if we're talking about the actual competition level and all that, I want to say that this year, although college football was great, we saw too many duds in the playoffs. Yep. I mean, in Indiana, SMU, we have just, and the NFL playoffs were a lot more competitive. The college football playoffs, we had too many games were in those playoffs that were just shitters. I mean, you had a highly anticipated Rose Bowl with Ohio State and Oregon, and it was an ass whooping right out the gate.
Yep.
Right. I mean, the national title game for the most part wasn't, Notre Dame at the first drive. Right. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden it was like, it's dead. It's dead. Right. And so we didn't have great games, basically, is what it was. We thought we were getting the 12 best teams. We never thought that, because there's a Boise, Indiana. That was my opinion. Boise, Indiana, SMU, Clemson, to me, they weren't involved in any of that shit, but they were in, and those were the games that we got that weren't good. Those were the games that we got that were absolute shit. So the NFL's playoffs were much better. The anticipation, though, throughout the season, college football's hype is just insane because I mean it's just
So this is where I'm gonna push back on you just a little bit, because the question I asked was how great were the seasons, and I would argue that from start to finish, college football was better all around, but the NFL's end put a lot of shitting on college football season because of how it ended competitively. But as a whole, I don't know if the NFL gets them out this season.
No. I agree with you. I think college football the season was better. The build up to the playoffs were greater.
Right. Yes.
The build up to the Rose Bowl was fucking great.
Yeah.
All those build ups were fucking great. The problem was when we got it on the field, it was absolute shit. Like the Arizona State Texas game got really good, but the very beginning of it didn't look like it was even going to be that good, right? And when you rank it as an all-time, it's not even ranked as an all-time game, to be honest with you, because it's just too many mistakes made by one team or whatever. The playoffs, leading up to the playoffs, college football season was greater, and overall, I guess you can make it greater. The anticipation, the matchups, and college football is always great because the fan bases, there's more history, like there's more just attached to it. You got the students, you got the alumni, you got all of that shit. And with the NFL, it's like, yeah, I grew up liking this team or whatever, but it's not. I feel like the fans are a little different in college, obviously, right? But the lead up to the playoffs for college was great. I mean, it really was. But when the playoffs actually started, the NFL had very, very, very good competitive games, whether it was the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs. I mean, the Eagles and anybody. I mean, you had great games for the most part. Eagles did kick some ass in the NFC, but for the most part, you had some great games, and they had some shitters. Obviously, the Super Bowl was a shitter. The Eagles and the Redskins was also a shitter. But at the end of the day, the overall playoffs I thought were better than the college football playoffs, the actual games.
100%.
But the lead up's great, and college football, they're only going to get better, and hopefully they'll adjust it. But at the end of the day, the Super Bowl will still always be the king. It doesn't matter how good that college football title game is; it will never have the hype behind it that the Super Bowl has. Obviously,
yeah, the commercials, the halftime show, it's just too much. It's just too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
So
well, is that all you got? Because for me personally, for me the politics section is just on fire right now. It's just
let's do it.
So we know as of the last 2 days, we got 2 huge confirmations. Tulsi Gabbard is now the Director of National Intelligence, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed as the Secretary of Health and Security. So, what are your thoughts on those 2 confirmations, and what are your thoughts on the outrage to Democrats, former Democrats, getting this much pushback?
No, I listen. I think they're still Democrats. I just think they're just closer to the middle than they are to one side. At the end of the day, I think they still are. I love to see him. Listen, I love to see Cheryl Hines, which is Robert Kennedy Jr.'s wife. She's sitting back there, and she's Hollywood, Curb Your Enthusiasm. They all hate Larry David. They all hate Donald Trump. So just watching her there in the Oval Office and having her husband just kind of thanking Trump for the opportunity. You were a man of your word. A lot of people said not to trust you. You never steered me wrong, basically.
Right.
Just seeing back there and seeing her smile and just wondering what Larry David, who's phenomenal writer, producer, all of the shit that Larry David has done, Seinfeld, Curb, I love him. He's just a fucking Democrat. That's all. So just watching him watch his on-screen ex-wife just sitting back there in Trump's office listening. I mean, I fucking loved it. And RFK Jr., when he went in there and he kind of let Bernie have it, Bernie's like, oh, no. It's like, Bernie,
no, yeah,
and
right.
he threw it
Shut
out there like 1.5 million, motherfucker. Like, don't lie. So, but, since we're on politics too, this is just common sense for people. And I know we don't have it. And I know every little thing that Trump does, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just people just if you're on the left, and there's so many here in California, it's insane. They just they get insane. They get wild, right? And so so everyone understands that DOGE, right? The Elon Musk, what they're doing and all that. It reminds me watching the Democrats of little kids when you're trying to get into the room because they did some fucked up shit, and you're trying to get into the room to see what the fuck they did, right? And it's like they're like trying to get in there, like to see what the fuck's going. Like, listen, you're fucked already.
Right.
Like,
It's
that's it. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
And the thing is, like, and they don't even, dude, they're just throwing out shit like, oh, well, we're all for censoring. What?
What? Yeah. Maxine Waters, you see what she said?
Well, Maxine Waters, the other one too. Oh, it's like they're gonna see what
the
we
bald
were doing.
one.
Oh, yeah. That's the bald one. Maxine Waters is the one from your hood back there.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, they're gonna see what we were doing. Yes, what you were doing with the people's money. That's the thing. What they're doing with the people's money. None of that money is yours. Like this. Why do politicians believe that they're superior to other people? You didn't go to some special school to be a fucking politician. Like, you didn't. So why would I trust anything that you say? What makes you smarter? What gives you the right? And yes, you were an elected official, but what gives you the right to just sit there and now when you get questioned about spending money, right? You're getting questioned about it. You're getting investigated about it, and you have a shit fit. Why? What did you go buy with my debit card, Maxine?
Right.
What did you go buy? Show me. Let me see it.
Right.
Maxine, open the fucking door. Let me see the shit. Let me see.
My favorite thing is that the Democrats over the last 8 years have championed, we're the party of young people, and young people love being Democrats. And as soon as Elon Musk hires 4 young people
they're
shit. They're shit. They're complete assholes, Nazis, just terrible. Young people are dumb, stupid, idiots, all over again. It's like, oh, you fucking hypocritical assholes, the Democrats are.
But they've always been like that, CJ. It's always been. They have never changed. For the last 10 or 12 years, they have always been the same people. They really have. And the people don't understand it. Trump's a racist. Okay. Trump's a racist, yet he chooses a guy to be his vice president who's married to an Indian woman. The guy who's going to be the head of the FBI, I believe he's also of Indian descent. Correct. Okay. He's a sexist. The woman, the how many women are surrounded? How many women surround him?
His chief of staff, his DNI, the DOE, the Sam Bondi. Like, there's just too many women.
Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, come on. It makes no sense. Like, you don't even believe that, but you have been programmed to believe it by idiots like Charlemagne, who's now kind of changing his turn a little bit, but not too much because he's still fucking Democrat. But like Charlemagne, the fucking 4 ugly fat bitches, lesbians from The View, the dyke from MSNBC, all of those people have told. And by the way, and some of these gay dudes on, like, bro, they're like, they hate white people. They're all married to white people,
right?
Like all these black Democrats, most of them are married to white people. Yet they're going to sit here and tell you
AOC.
Yes, they're all married to white people, and they're going to come out here and tell you the other idiot. What's his name? Don Lemon. His boyfriend's a white guy. Anderson Cooper. He white on white. All these gay dudes, all right, and lesbian women and all that are telling you, oh, you don't want a white man and blah, blah. You're married to white men. That's who you're married to, Kamala and those people. And so, it's just, and I don't understand. It's just literally right in front of you. It's common sense. You don't even need to go out and even search it too much. It's literally right there. Why are these people complaining about what Elon Musk is doing? Why are they complaining? Why are they worried about it? because they're like your kids. You're going to go in there and you're going to find something that they did wrong. And then you're going to light their ass up. At least you used to. Not anymore. Now you can't touch little fucking Jimmy or he's going to feel unsafe. But that's what they're worried about. The Democrats are your kids, and you just found that they were doing dumb shit with your debit card or with others, or the little girls were using mom's expensive makeup or whatever, and now they got caught. And now they're looking for any fucking excuse. These fucking idiots went out and said, fuck Trump. Actual elected officials, not elected by me, because I wouldn't elect any of those lunatic motherfuckers. But go out and actually said it. And then one bitch is like, oh, fuck Trump. Oh, my God, I hope my kids don't see this.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Bitch, please. Get the fuck out of here. Like, they're just, like, they're cringy. It's all fucked up. And it's so tough to see that the good work that Trump has done, not only for the country so far, but for the world. For the world. Like, he came out yesterday and he said, you know what? I'm going to apply the same tariffs to every country that they are applying to us. So that means if Germany's charging our companies to ship whatever, if a company that's based here, if they got to pay 5% in tariffs to Germany, then anything that comes from a German company they're going to pay 5%. So what's that German company going to go and tell their government? Listen, I'm selling $1 billion to the United States. I can't afford to pay 5%. So please stop charging whoever it is, Amazon, BF Goodrich, whoever, whatever American company, good, whatever. Stop charging the Americans because they're going to charge us. And if they charge us and we do 95% of our business in the United States, we're just going to get up and move there. So, and at the end of the day, everyone needs to realize that is for the better. There's already 2 Canadian companies that are moving here because they do over 80% of their business in the United States. Okay. So at the end of the day, that will work out for everyone. Maybe not right now, maybe not next week, maybe not in a month. But I promise you, in 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to see a big difference. That's 100% for sure. How about immigration? We had 400 crossings the other day, I believe they reported. On a day where the same day last year, about 479, close to 500, but not 500. It didn't get to 500, I believe. The same day last year, they had over 6,000 on the same day a year ago. I'm sorry. And yeah, listen, there will be some effects to the economy because a lot of these people and a lot of these people do spend money here. I'm not saying that. I have a ton of Mexican clients. They and Salvadorian and Guatemalans that are illegal immigrants, they spend a ton of money. They're not spending right now. There will be some, but for the most part, that is the media that's doing their job here locally in LA. Univision, Telemundo, Channel 22. They're scaring these people. One of my employees says, "Oh, there's a ICE raid going on down the street, like a mile and a half from my place." I said, "Who told you that?" No. They're saying. Who's saying it? Who's saying it? Because when we've looked at it, and if you can watch the videos, and that's why I like to post them whenever I see them. And there were 2 videos from Florida. One was from Guatemala, and I think the other was from Nicaragua. He said, listen, they picked me up. They checked me. I came into this country illegally. I went to court. I haven't committed any crimes. And I've been to all my court dates. They released him. He literally says in his video, they dropped me off at a gas station. That's what he says. The other guy gets interviewed by his boss, right? He looks like he might have been a gardener, some sort of construction. The boss is interviewing him. You can clearly tell the boss wanted to get some information, some real information out there. And he asked him, he said, "Oh, what happened? Oh, I got picked up by immigration." The guy was very hesitant to speak on the phone, right? On the camera.
Right.
But he said, "I got picked up by immigration. You know, they checked and, you know, I came here illegally, obviously. They checked. They gave me a court date." And then he fucking lifts up his pants and he has a fucking a monitor. He had an ankle monitor on. Ooh. So because the man didn't commit any crimes. And right. I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of stories out there. But these motherfuckers here, Univision, Telemundo, Canal 22, you motherfuckers here in LA are scaring these people and letting them know they're coming for you and blah, blah. And those are the people that the city of LA is such a large economy for the most part. And all you're doing is scaring them.
Yeah.
They're really not getting deported unless they've committed multiple crimes. I know the White House is telling you, well, the first crime they committed was coming here illegally. Yes. But who are they looking for? Who are they looking for? They're looking for the guys that have been on trial for rape. Those are the people, murder, assault, DUI, multiple DUI, all of that. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for Guadalupe, who has 2 kids and works at Graciana's tortilleria place. I speak Spanish, and that's still a hard word to say. But they're not looking for her unless she was caught selling weed on the side or coke.
Right.
They're not looking for those people. And this Spanish media, especially in LA, is telling these people on a daily basis, whether it's at 11 o'clock at night, whether it's at 10 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're reminding them every single night. Also, the state going out of their way and putting $50 million in a fund that had been worked on before the fires. That fund that had started and was presented before the fires here in Eaton and the Palisades fire and all that. That was presented before. It ended up passing, I believe, last week or something, or signed off or whatever. $50 million to fight Trump on immigration. Okay, so we're not going to give those $50 million to speed up service in cleaning what the wildfires left behind, and giving multiple contracts to multiple companies that employ multiple dozens of employees so we can clean the shit out. No, we're going to spend that money in defending our immigrants who are criminals 2 times, I believe. That's what we should call it.
Yes.
Double criminals. Those are the
Double
ones that are getting
criminals.
deported. The motherfuckers that committed double crime. The first crime was coming here. The second one was probably DUI, or you fucking raped your niece, or some shit like that, because it happened. Those are the ones that are getting deported. And I would love for Univision and Telemundo and Channel 22 to fucking report that on a daily basis. But they don't. And that's not what they're doing. And then the other thing is, by the way, listen, CJ, and I know you're black, and there's no lie that you are black on, right? But I hate the fact that we see these people, oh, yeah, blacks, Mexicans, we're with you and blah, blah. Look at the blacks that are out there. Look at the blacks that are out there. 15 and 16-year-old kids just waiting for one Mexican kid, another idiot who's 15 or 16, go and break a goddamn window so they can all fucking loot it up. That's
wow.
That's dead. Mexicans and blacks alone, CJ, not just blacks. I'm just telling you.
Yes. No.
I'm not lying. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying 100%.
All right.
100% right. But to that point, can you speak about all these hundreds of kids around Los Angeles leaving high school, walking out of school, and stopping traffic in streets, on freeways, and more crimes.
It's shameful. It is shameful because, first of all these kids, and I'm not going to say all of them, but the kids that are walking out, right? All of the kids that are walking out. Now, all of you are more than likely not kids to immigrants, okay? To illegal immigrants at this moment,
right?
Okay,
right.
But if you are, you are actually doing your parents a disservice. Leaving school when your parents sacrificed to get here, and money, because they had to pay a shitload of money to the coyotes, okay? They had to fucking come across that border, okay? Fighting for their fucking life, because you idiots don't know any of the stories that actually go on. I know many people that have crossed there from Cuba, Argentina, Venezuela, Mexican, Salvadorians, and they will tell you some stories about getting kidnapped in TJ or down at the Arizona border before even getting across to get taken for more money. Okay, and there's plenty of stories. You guys don't understand that. So you're doing a disservice to your parents if they're illegal for leaving school, because they came to this country to have kids, work, and have a better give their kids a better life. Right. And you're doing a disservice to them while they're out there working.
Right.
And you're missing school. You think you're standing up for something? You're not standing up for shit. If your parents didn't commit a second crime, you are 99% not getting deported. Now, I can't guarantee that, but what the statistics have told us is those aren't the people that are getting deported right now.
Right.
They're not. As long as you have presented yourself in court put it this way. If you're an illegal immigrant right now, I strongly believe this. You can probably walk into immigration and say, listen, I came here illegally. I don't have a court date. I'm working. Run my criminal record. I need a court date. They'll probably fucking strap you on with an ankle bracelet and give you a court date. I strongly believe that. Okay. But you going out there and committing a crime of truancy, okay, because you didn't go to school, you're leaving school. That's being truant. You should get a fucking ticket. From every kid walking, you ditched school. Whether you ditched 5th period, 6th period, you ditched. That, when I went to school, that was a ticket. Trust me, I was a professional at ditching. I ditched every day at lunch. Gone. I didn't miss lunch. I ditched it, though. Lunch, 5th and 6th period, motherfucker, I was gone. All right? So when I got pulled over, I had to give some bullshit excuse, and I did get a ticket once because my excuse wasn't good enough, obviously. Okay? So, but when you're committing, it's a ticket worthy. So you're doing a disservice to your parents. You're doing a disservice to your grandparents if they're the ones who came here illegally. You're not helping the cause. You may think you are because you're out there. Like, what you guys don't understand, when you're blocking a freeway, you're blocking the people that you're defending, that you're supposedly marching for. Those people are trying to get to work, as is other people. But LA is, for the most part, Hispanic. And a lot of illegal immigrants, especially down that 101 there in LA. So imagine where you fucking blocked the freeway and poor fucking Lupita couldn't get to her job to clean houses. Where fucking Juan Pablo couldn't get to the restaurant to bus tables. Where fucking the other dude couldn't open his taco truck because he couldn't get there because you blocked the streets. But you guys don't see that. So what you think you're doing right is pure selfishness. It's for you to have some sort of self-gratitude or something. And it's stupid.
You're also provoking police to get more aggressive with people on natural basis because they're having to worry about blocking off the fucking freeway and not going around the city and defending the city. So now they're going to be naturally more aggressive, naturally rude, naturally irritated because they can't do their jobs or on the freeway worrying about you blocking fucking traffic.
Right, 100%. And you're taking units that should be patrolling the streets, and you're gonna have them there, so things don't get out of hand. The other day they stabbed a kid. A kid was stabbed.
I saw that, and almost beat somebody to death.
I mean, for what? Why? What I don't understand. Hey, you walked out. You were there. You were marching. You did good. You did your part. You think that's doing your part?
Right.
You think that's doing your part at 16 years old? Do your part for your parents. Go to school. Do what they sacrificed coming here for XYZ reason. Okay, whatever it was. But I'll tell you what they didn't come here for. They didn't risk their lives coming here, okay, and leaving their family behind. They didn't come here to build a family and then their family go to shit. That's not what they came here for. So they came here to give you kids a better life, and yet you idiots are sitting here ditching school, blocking freeways, beating the shit out of other kids. And it's not all of you. It's not all of you. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be doing it. You're ditching school. You are fucking truant. Bottom line, you should be written up. And that's what the cops should do. Grab them, give them the ID, give them a ticket, and let them be. Fuck it. They get hit by a car. Fuck it. They get hit by a car. It is what it is. Because we can't afford for fucking 150 or 200 kids from some fucking high school marching down the street, and then we got some other guys 2 miles over breaking into a Walmart or breaking into some liquor store, beating the shit out of the clerk or whatever. And I'm not saying it did happen, but it happens in LA almost every day.
Yeah, it's a matter of fact.
We can't afford to pull units. Okay. Oh, wait. Well, we can. We can just pay more cops to come into work. That's what it will result to.
Yep.
That's what it will result to. And then what will happen? You're going to have to pay the police more money. And then you get the idiots defund the police. We got to get more. It's too much. It is
the
too much.
The people who don't like police presence are doing things that are going to require more police presence.
100%. 100%. And it's disgusting to see. It's disgusting to see it. It really is. It's shameful, and it's selfish on all these kids, especially if your parents were immigrants to this country. They came here, and it's shameful to see because they didn't come here for you to do that. Because while you're out marching the streets, they're probably at work.
Yep.
To put fucking clothes and shoes on you. So that's my take on them motherfuckers.
Just to move on from that topic, but to stay in the realm of politics, I told you yesterday that I am seeing multiple tweets, conservative media, saying that the first day that Kash Patel gets confirmed as the FBI director, that we will get the entire Epstein list. There was a guy that came on the PBD podcast and said that in the next 10 days that we would get it. What are your thoughts? Do you think we get it? What do we get? People think that some of Trump's buddies are on that list. What are your ideas?
I don't believe it. I don't believe we get it until I see it. I don't believe it. Listen, if we get it, we're gonna get a bullshit list. Okay, we're gonna get a list who are Trump's buddies that are gonna be on the list? I don't know. Is Elon Musk gonna be on the list? Probably not. So what list what are we getting? Listen, I don't. Whatever list comes out, half the people aren't gonna believe it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. If Jimmy Kimmel's on there, Ellen DeGeneres is on there, Will Smith is on there, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. We know Bill Clinton's on there. I mean, you want to be naive and stupid. I mean, listen, the man had a portrait of Bill Clinton painted in Monica Lewinsky's dress. Like, listen, if you don't want to believe that he was there, I mean, you're just sick. Whoopi's probably not there because why would you ride a plane with Whoopi? But yeah, for the most part, who's going to believe the list? That's the thing. Who's going to believe it? And the problem with all these things are that CNN and MSNBC and ABC and NBC, they will fail to report it. Yes. So it's like it basically only came out. It only came out to half of the people. The rest of it won't matter.
But
because they
can I push back on you, Rafa? If we were in 2012, that would matter. That statement would mean everything. It would be closed and shut with the media's not going to report it right. But in 2025, I am trusting in Patrick Bet-David, Benny Johnson, Joe Rogan, all of these conservative or right-wing or even center-right or even center non-mainstream media personalities to get their hands on these files the same way the mainstream media companies did and to tell us the absolute truth. Do you think that even is a possibility?
Well, that's a possibility because Joe Rogan will speak on it, and Joe Rogan is the number one podcast on the motherfucking planet. Right. So I mean, and he holds a lot of respect. There's a lot of people respect his podcast. They respect his guests. But at the end of the day, I still believe half the people are going to give a shit. And for some of those people, it's not validated unless CNN says it. It is really not. I swear to God, that's the truth. You know who you are out there. I know some people that their family members are diehard CNN. And if CNN and MSNBC don't report it, it won't be validated. Could you imagine Whoopi sitting there talking about how Jimmy Kimmel, who's on their same network, was on that island? Could you imagine that? Because we forget that Jimmy Kimmel did blackface with Carl Malone. People forget that shit. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. For the Democrats, it's always a double standard. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. So CNN, I strongly believe CNN won't validate it. Okay. I strongly believe MSNBC won't validate it. If they validate it, then it's like, all right, we finally got something. Like, literally, I'm telling you, you can watch the news. I watch both networks. I put it on Fox and I put it on CNN. And if there's a breaking story, I always go to Fox, right? And I want to see what they're reporting on. And then I go to CNN. And CNN always on the bottom ticker, it'll have like, oh, Donald Trump just shit himself or something. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Trump can go in and fucking peace in the Middle East, and fucking Jews and Palestinians could be having the biggest fucking party ever, and CNN won't report it. I strongly believe that. So when that list comes out, if it does come out, I believe that it won't be validated for half the country if CNN doesn't validate it. I really believe that.
I
Like, it
also would
doesn't
go on
even.
top of that, and it would not be validated if there is not a balance of right-wing and left-wing people on it. Like, if you just get a list of left-wing people, then it's going to be QAnon, conspiracy, and the
Right.
same thing on the opposite side. If you get a bunch of right-wing people, it's going to be liberal, progressive, socialist, communist bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, we already know that Bill Clinton was on the fucking thing. I mean, that's just the head honcho of the Democrats, the biggest motherfucker still alive, is him. And
No,
well,
you still got Barack. Barack.
dude,
I think Barack.
I'm talking about age wise, right?
Okay.
Age wise, and he was president first and all that. So, but Bill Clinton was on there. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Michelle Obama was on there. I'm serious. Donald Trump has been reported to have been on that plane. I don't know if he went to the island. It was reported that he had been on that plane, though. So, but for the most part, I think the list is going to be somewhere like a 70-30 split, where it's going to have some Democrats and then some Republicans, and we're going to see just a shit ton of actors. And I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's do a little. Who would be your most disappointing if they were on that list? We're gonna do this a little game real quick. You clip this right here. We're gonna do this right here.
I got somebody. I got somebody.
Okay, so now, let me break it down. I'll start it over so you can clip it.
Right.
So there's rumors that this week we're gonna get the Epstein list. Now I'm asking CJ, and then I'll answer. Who would be your most disappointing actor, actress, president, whatever that is on that list? Who would you be most disappointed if you saw their name? CJ, do you have one?
I do. It's Denzel Washington.
Oh my God. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe you just said that, by the way. I can't believe you just said that, because that would be my second person on that list.
Wow. Yeah.
For me, Denzel would be the second. If Denzel was on that list, I
just hold him in such high regards, and not even actor-wise, off screen. How he acts in the media, how he talks to people. He doesn't give me the I'm a typical white or I'm a typical Hollywood snob. He gives me I work here, I made it, I'm rich, I get it, but I'm not disconnected completely.
Right. No, I got you. That he was my number two. My number one would be 50 Cent. If 50 was on that list, if 50 would be on that list, bro, which listen, and I don't think either of them are, right? But 50, I mean, if 50 was on that list, I'd be disappointed. 50, Denzel, and that, like, those four, I would be disappointed. And then Clint Eastwood.
I'm sorry, Rafa, you cut out. What were your last two?
Clint Eastwood and Sylvester Stallone. Like, I would be disappointed if they were on there.
Sylvester Stallone would hurt me. That would hurt me.
Yeah. And Clint Eastwood as well. And Michael Jordan, Denzel. I mean, like those, like, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if I saw Will Smith on there. I wouldn't be in shock. Like Diddy, that's not a shock, right? If I see Diddy, I see Jay-Z, I see Beyonce.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Who's that?
Your boy LeBron.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked LeBron was on the list either.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked. But,
okay, so who's your most? I'll reverse the question. Who's the three top most unshocking people?
Diddy, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Jay-Z. Those are the three less shocking. And then honorable mention, Ellen DeGeneres and Beyonce.
Yes, yeah.
Right there. That's it right there. Like those, if they're on the list, not shocking. Not shocking. Jimmy Kimmel, not shocking.
Not shocking. Nope.
Not shocking. Justin Trudeau, not shocking.
That would Goldberg, not shocking.
Whoopi Goldberg would shock me because I wouldn't ride a plane with that ugly ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna share some sort of fucking session with Whoopi, ain't doing it. Nah. It's like Rosie O'Donnell. Nasty bitches, man. There's some unfuckable dykes, dude. I
think for me, it would definitely be Diddy. Like, just without a doubt. Like, that's just the number one name that comes up.
Yeah.
And then for me, unshocking would definitely be Jay-Z because of his connections to Diddy.
Right.
And then Ellen DeGeneres for me, like, you're there. You've been there. You've been there. Yeah, like you have your own fucking suite up there. Like, they have Ellen DeGeneres, she has her own floor of fucking people.
Yeah, that's rumored. So yeah, listen, I'm dying for this list. We do a whole episode on that list when it comes out. We rank that motherfucker. We go top 10 on that bitch. Goats. We do a GOAT list of the Epstein list. Yeah, we can do that shit. That's for sure. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked that we've had previews of what the list has looked like before. That's somebody who put it out there, and but I'd like to see it. Like I said, though, if 50's on there, it just break my heart, man. It really would.
I didn't think about 50, but now that you say it, that would
Dude,
shock me.
I instantly thought in actors, I went Denzel right away, but then I was like,
Denzel hit me right away.
You know what? But 50, dude, 50 was a 50's still a monster. I mean, 50 talks so much shit, like he is the fucking GOAT of trolling, right?
I want to hit this point because this is a half sports, half politics podcast. What are your top 3 most unshocking athletes that would be there?
Unshocking. Unshocking athletes. I'd probably have to say LeBron would definitely be in there. I think LeBron, dude, fuck. And they'd have to be, fuck. Oh, man, it's tough. I don't know anybody as God. I wouldn't even know an NFL quarterback that I can maybe throw out there that even comes to mind. Yeah.
As of right now, Tom Brady would be my own, but I don't see him doing that. I really don't. I really truly don't. But he's the only one who I could see doing it. But
was
it
that
was very simple for me.
You're judging?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't my top 3. My top 3 is very simple and it's kind of obvious.
Who is it? Let me see.
The top 3 NBA conversations we get: Kobe, LeBron, and Mike. I think they've all been there.
Oh no. I could never put it this way. I'll tell you what. Those 3 guys you just named, if I had to rank them in order of most likely going to the island, it would be LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kobe. Because there's no way that I would believe that Kobe Bryant was on that island. I could never believe. I could believe maybe Michael, maybe like a far-fetched fucking baby belief, like very rare. I believe 100% that LeBron's been there. I don't doubt that, right? I don't, and I'll tell you who else I wouldn't doubt. Might be sick to say, Steph motherfucking Curry.
Curry,
Steph Curry,
I would not doubt that, and Steve Kerr on top of that.
Maybe even Greg Popovich.
Yeah, you're right.
But I could never see, and Kobe would be my list of number 1 athletes that would shock me if he was on that list, and it would be shocking if Kobe was on that Epstein list. Like for me, I'm telling you, that would shock me the most of any athlete. It would be Kobe, and then probably Derek Jeter. That would shock me the most of being on that list. It really
would. Why specifically, though, about their character? Why?
Just their makeup. Like, I don't, when you see, dude, for Kobe, he wasn't really a public, you see LeBron, the Diddy party, and you see him at parties, right? Mm-hmm. You see LeBron. And with Kobe, it wasn't a lot of that. It wasn't a lot of that. You saw Jordan staying out late at night and doing shit he shouldn't have. One of these motherfuckers maybe held him up to something. You never know, right? With LeBron, the same. But for Kobe, like for me, it was just I couldn't see it. I really couldn't. Listen, not being a Kobe fan or anything, but for me, if Kobe was on the
this is the most objective thing. This is objective.
Yeah, for me, if Kobe was on the Epstein list, I would be heartbroken because I would never think that he would be on there. I really wouldn't. I tell you, I'd say LeBron and Michael Jordan before Kobe, Steve Kerr. I mean, Popovich, Steph Curry, all before, before. It wouldn't shock me if Charles Barkley was up in that bitch, nasty motherfucker too.
Shaq too.
No, I don't know about Shaq. That motherfucker too big. You start bringing that motherfucker around some little kids, like, nah, man, nah, I've had enough.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Last topic that I have for you before we get into any miscellaneous things is this fake ass, non-Chris Evans, black ass Captain America has come out and said that Captain America is not meant or stands or is anything to do with America. Take a look at what this guy has to say.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of, this is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed.
Now, see, so him explaining that story, right? Where did all of that become possible? My friend, it became possible in America, brother. Not in anywhere else on this fucking planet, but in America. Gave you the opportunity to be Captain America. So when you're describing, and then you're describing what Captain America is, those are all kind of what the American man is kind of built on. So, I mean, listen, I'm sorry I know you want to be woke and you want to be those people that America's not the greatest country in the United States is not the greatest country is what because that's what you're trying to emphasize.
Yes, that's what he's insinuating.
That's what you're saying. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what you insinuated in that entire conversation. That is what you said. Okay, and that's why you made that remark. But everything you described might be only possible in America. So, hey, listen, if you don't want to be Captain America, which it doesn't shock me, and they made you a black Captain America because of the way the country is headed, okay? And that's why we have, black princesses and so on. And it is what it is. And not to say that black women aren't princesses and queens. It's just that when we grow up with the Little Mermaid or Snow White or whatever, they were white. Now we want to change them to black.
Well, here's I saw somebody on the Daily Wire give or Dan Bongino show that gave an excellent explanation. When you give us stories of kings and queens and princesses, especially in a historical context, like if it's a story based on history, we understand that black people were not queens and kings and princesses in those days. We understand that they were slaves. And so when you make these people these roles that we understand are not historically accurate, the typical human being is going to go, what? That doesn't make sense.
You're right. You're right, but what can we do? You want us to change it now? You want us to change it now? Come on. What the fuck can we do? Be better. I don't know what to tell you. But this motherfucker, Captain America, that lost his mind. He really didn't. And you can't do that when you're promoting a film that's going to come out and it's Marvel, so everyone's going to watch it. I won't. And I'm one of those motherfuckers that never watched Black Panther.
Oh, wow.
So 100% never watched.
It was a good ass movie.
That's fine. I don't like the lead up to the movie. I won't watch it.
You didn't watch the second one with the Hispanics?
No.
Namor?
No. Because I didn't watch the first one. I didn't watch Coco. You ever seen Coco?
I love Coco.
All right. You know why I didn't watch Coco? The same reason that I didn't watch the Black Panther after. Because your lead up to the movie and your marketing for the movie was this is a first all Hispanic cast. This is a first all black, yada, yada, yada. I don't give a fuck about that. That's the thing. My favorite sport is the NBA, where it is full of brothers. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't give a fuck if they can play the game, if they can act, if they can produce, if they can direct. I don't give a fuck if they're white or black. You present that to me and I will not watch it. I will not watch it, which is why I didn't watch Coco and I didn't watch the Black Panther, not one, not two. As I won't do it because I don't give a fuck about that. That's the thing. So, and everybody, oh, how come you're racist because you didn't watch Black Panther? Am I racist because I didn't watch Coco? No, I don't like that bullshit. Every time I hear, oh, this is the first black guy to do this. This is the first Latino to do this. Obviously, they weren't fucking qualified before that. That's just the fucking truth.
That's true.
That is the truth.
True.
That is the fucking truth, bro.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
true.
Bro, that's the
Just
truth.
because there hasn't been a woman or a person of color in that role doesn't necessarily mean that a woman or person of color wasn't qualified beforehand to be in that
They
role.
weren't
It just
qualified.
means
Bro.
that up until that time, white people were
Bro.
more qualified.
Listen, come on, man. I'm sorry. But they weren't. Like when people say, listen, I love baseball. I coach baseball. I played baseball. Okay, I love it. Right? For when people sit here and say, oh, Babe Ruth was the greatest of all time, or Ted Williams was, the greatest hitter of all time. Bro, those people played before there were black people playing, dude. Let's be real. Oh, bro, that's the truth. That's the truth. It was so for don't think that I'm racist because I didn't watch Black Panther. No, I'm racist equally. I hate everyone equally the same. Everyone, I hate them equally the same. But if you're accomplished to do something, if you're capable to do something and be the best at it, it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. So when you throw out there black, is that not me, bro?
I agree with you on that. I just don't agree with the statement that just because there was white people leading up, there were no black people or people of color qualified. Like
there were.
Easily, that's not true. That's
bro.
Not,
listen, we're gonna I'm gonna break it down to you real quick. It's the easiest shit. NFL quarterbacks. One black dude won a Super Bowl before. Was it Patrick Mahomes, the second black dude to win a Super Bowl? And Patrick Mahomes is a half and a half. So, okay. So technically, they weren't fucking qualified. It's just what it is. They weren't good enough. They weren't good enough. That's what I'm telling you. They weren't good enough. Bottom line. I'm sorry. They weren't good enough to win a Super Bowl. That's what it is. So they weren't qualified. Am I lying? Am I lying?
No, I don't agree with the premise that just because there's only been 2 black quarterbacks out of 1 Super Bowl, that black quarterbacks are not qualified.
Three. Motherfucker, before they weren't qualified. They weren't good enough.
No, because you can't say that because at some point, there was not even black people in the NFL.
Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon weren't good enough. They weren't better than Joe Montana and Steve Young.
You're talking about 2 of the best quarterbacks on the planet.
Negro, they weren't good enough. I'm telling you, they weren't good enough to lead their teams.
Yes, versus Joe Montana and Steve. He has nobody.
Bro, I don't
most
even
white quarterbacks weren't good enough.
I don't even think that Warren Moon or Randall Cunningham made a Super Bowl. They weren't good enough. It's just the truth.
Yes, Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham weren't good enough, but that doesn't mean
them motherfuckers were good. They were good. They just weren't good enough, but they were good. I'm not going to discredit them. They just weren't good enough. That's the truth. There's no better comparison. I'm sorry. There's no better comparison. Bro, it's like...
I don't agree with this.
You cannot agree with it. Fine. Bro, it's like you're going to tell me when we're watching the NBA, we're going to pick some random white dude to be better than a black guy at dunking the ball. Negro, please. Come on, man. Are we fucking out of our minds?
You're not saying that. You're not saying that white people are not qualified to dunk the ball.
They're not good enough. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to dunk the ball like black people, 100%. That's exactly what I'm saying. White people aren't good enough at dunking a goddamn basketball than black people. It's a simple fact. Max McClung, boo-hoo. The guy can't even play the actual game. Get the fuck out of here. I'm telling you, bro, for the history of time, Brent Berry, Max McClung, might be the only 2 white dudes to ever win a dunk contest. What does that tell you? That the brothers is better. If I got to pick 3 guys to dunk a basketball,
You're not saying no, but you're not saying what you said the first time. You're
they're
saying
not
the brothers
qualified.
are.
They're not qualified. How can a white dude be qualified to fucking dunk a goddamn basketball better than a black guy? It's few and far in between. It's like NFL quarterbacks. Few and far in between. We got Brent Barry, Max McClung. I don't remember another white guy winning it. Okay? I don't. Give me fucking Vince Carter. Give me Michael Jordan. Give me Dominique. Give me fucking Isaiah Ryder. Give me Harold Miner, D. Brown. Give me those guys. I don't want Brent Barry and Max McClung. I don't want 2 white dudes. They're not qualified. That's why they only won 2. Because them motherfuckers weren't qualified.
I need you and Ryan Holmes to do a race NFL draft.
We do a race
White
everything draft. 100%. 100%. No, but blacks will win. They're better athletes. There's no doubt about it. But if we go to NFL, quarterbacks, the whites are going to win. We know this. The whites will win at quarterback and offensive line. By the way, did you see Deion's take? He was with Rich Eisen, and Deion was talking about how he wanted his quarterback. He didn't say white, but he could have said white, and nobody would have cared. But he's black. But he said, I want my quarterback to come from a 2-parent household. Percentages say, got to be white.
Wow. That's not what he's saying? That is not.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Wait. Hold on. He said offensive lineman, 2-parent household. The father has to be the dominant force, yada, yada, yada. You know what he said about defensive lineman? He said defensive lineman, school lunches, single mama. Wow. That's what I want. That's exactly what he said. Deion could say it, though, because he's black. God forbid I say it, and I'm a fucking racist. But I didn't watch Coco or the Black Panther. So I'm equally as racist to Latinos and blacks and whites. Bottom line, white people can't dunk basketball.
You are not as equally racist to whites. Just to be honest.
Bro, I am equally as racist to whites. I hate white people. Like, it's not that I hate them, but listen, everybody has their flaws, CJ. Okay, I break down the race. I break down the race like this, right? Like I just go to crimes, right? Just straight up crimes. So when I go, like I hear, robbery, I automatically think of a black dude. Bottom line, just straight there. If I think DUI killed 4 people, Latino, 100%, little Mexican dude, guaranteed, lock that up, right? School shooter, I don't even need to watch the news because I know that it was fucking Kenneth fucking Bueller from fucking Wichita, Kansas. Like, I just know that it's a white guy. That's the profile for me. I profile races like that. There's certain shit that you don't want to do around white people. You see a white dude like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? There's shit like you see a black dude like, oh, shit. And you see a Mexican guy, Latino guy, like driving at midnight. You don't want that. You don't want to be on the road with that. That's dead ass. Dead ass. I don't want to be in a high school with a white kid who's upset because his mother locked him in the room for 2 minutes. I don't want to be in a school with a white kid who does that shit. I don't either want to be at a street corner stuck at a red light with a black dude crossing the street. I don't want to do it. I also don't want to be driving down the freeway at 12:30 at night on a Saturday night in a Mexican Latino neighborhood. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I am equally as racist for all races. It's a fact. And I also don't hear that March is White History Month. I don't also
do
get that.
I'm
telling you. I'm telling you.
You don't need a fucking White History Month because history is white.
In this country, it's white.
Yes.
In this country is white.
Yes.
So we just forget all of history. So
we don't need fucking White History Month.
The gays get a month. The blacks get a month. The gays get a month. Like, that's just segregating themselves. Like, oh, this is an all-white cast. Like, I'm not watching. If they ever announce movies like that, I would never watch that movie. Like, dead ass. Swear to God. This is an all-white cast. Not watching. Done. And you know it's an all-white movie when the black dude's killed within the first 15 seconds. I walk right out that bitch.
Bro, I just watched London Has Fallen. And what's her name? Yes, and what's Angela Bassett? She dies in the first 30 minutes of the damn movie.
There's movies like that. Like there's the movie with I don't remember, the plane gets hijacked. You see the first like 5 minutes, you think what a cast, and then fucking Steven Seagal just fucking gets blown off the fucking plane or some shit. Like there's movies like that. You're like, oh fuck, what a cast. And then Steven Seagal goes flying in fucking the middle of fucking 30,000 feet just out of nowhere. Like there's movies like that. Like there's some movies like that. Yeah, you shocked. You're like, oh fuck, there's gonna be some dogs in this one. Nope.
Nope. Black dude's dying.
Gone forever. So, but
all right, man. That's what I got for you.
That's my race takes, man. That's my race takes. So, but anyways, quit crying about DOGE. Let them do their work. They're doing it for the American people. Whether you want to believe it or not, they are doing it for the American people. If you think that Elon Musk is going in there and gonna steal your money, that man's worth that. He's almost worth $500 billion. Almost.
He is worth more money than you will see in 10 lifetimes. Bro,
in any lifetime, ever. And so let him do his work. He's doing it for you. At the end of the day, you have to realize that a lot of these billionaires, they don't need your pennies. They want to control you. Elon Musk is trying to make sure that the government gives back what our money that they wrongfully used. Okay. Right. And whether you want to believe it or not, they laundered that money. Whether it was 5,000 here, 3,000 here for a favor, whatever it is. Those 47,000 for some fucking comic book in Chile. Who needed $47,000 to make a comic book? Give me a fucking, we'll do that shit real quick. So don't think that $5,000 of that money didn't go grease to some other politician and from here and there and all that. So don't believe it. Don't look at the billions and millions and trillions. Look at the smaller spending. Every single thing that makes you think, wow, why are we doing that with our money? We can't take care of our people in this country. We have not only veterans, we have veterans, drug users, people that have been left homeless, that have had no other chances to get back on their feet. Maybe they fell into drugs. We have all those people, okay, that have fallen into drug abuse, whether military, homelessness, left their house, whatever. Those are the people that we need to help. Those are the people that we should be helping, not some random people in Serbia that you want to force your USA American bullshit of homosexuality and DEI and victimization. You want to force it on those countries.
Yes,
okay, that's what
exactly. 100,000%.
So, and that's because at the end of the day, when those people depend on you, those people that need sex changes, that do all of that, those people are the easiest people to control. Yep. They're the easiest people to control. And that's what they were looking for. And Elon Musk is trying to save us from throwing away that money and putting it back in our pockets, whether you guys want to believe it or not. Okay. So whether you want to see, and you're not going to see it. They're not going to fucking mail you a check. Right. You're not going to get a check in the mail, right? But you're going to pay for it with different things later on, with different taxes that we won't need to have, with different things, different programs that we won't need to have. So they don't need to charge you XYZ tax. By the way, and be on the lookout for the income tax bill, that if that passes, that would be the nuts of the nuts. And all the Democrats are gonna vote no on that.
Can you explain, just before we get off real quick, can you just get in a little bit of detail about income tax and why that's such a big deal?
Well, from what it looks like, from what the tax looks like, it looks like it's going to be like a tariff sort of thing, where supposedly, and this kind of just a little bit of, I haven't done a deep dive, I'll just give you kind of what I've seen. 12% tariff on everyone in the country, right? So everyone will pay 12%. Obviously, if you do your taxes, you will pay 12%. And that's basically it. You will keep the rest of your money is what
interesting.
It looks like what they're trying to present it, but what they're doing, they're putting it together with the no taxes on overtime bill. So they're trying to put all of that together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if that passed, then, and you're going to get all these idiots. Oh, well, these people aren't doing their part. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer, and I've said it for years. We should all pay the same percentage in tax, whatever it is. If it's 10%, if it's 5%, if it's 12%. We should all pay the same percentage, because at the end of the day, we don't all pay the same amount. If a guy goes to become a doctor and he goes to school for 10 years and he manages to make $500,000 to $800,000 a year, why should he have to pay almost 50% of his income in taxes? Why? Because he went to school and to better himself and make more money. No, he should pay the same 10%. If it's 10%, we should all pay 10%. That guy is going to pay $80,000 in taxes.
Jeez.
You maybe only made 50 grand, so you're going to pay 5,000. That guy's paying 80,000. So we're all not paying the same amount. And I've always been a strong believer in that. We should all pay the same percentage, whether it's 5% or 10% or 12% or whatever. If they ever end up making it like that, that's what we should pay. We all pay the same percentage, because at the end of the day, we were not all going to pay the same amount. We're all not going to pay the same amount. We will pay the same percentage, but not the same. And Democrats, for the most part, and all these fucking politicians, left and right, at the end of the day, most of them will tell you, well, the corporations and these people these billionaires need to pay their part. They are. They will pay more than you. They will pay more than you. Should we penalize Steph Curry, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all of these NBA players? Should we penalize them because they have the gift of being a talent and entertainer to entertain you and the world? Should they, and all of the hard work that they put in since they were maybe 3 years old, and the time that their parents spent and money to get them to the elite level that they are now, do you think it's right to take 50% from them? No. Because at the end of the day, if Curry's making $50 million and he pays 10% in taxes, he's paying $5 million a year. That man shouldn't have to pay almost over $20 million in taxes. He shouldn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think we should all pay the same percentage. We should not penalize all these elite individuals in this country, whether it's an athlete, whether it's an entertainer, whether it's a CEO, an entrepreneur, a doctor, whatever it is. We should not penalize them. We should not. I'm sorry. And because at the end of the day, they put in the hard work to get to that point. Yes, we all weren't born 6'9". We all weren't born 7 feet tall. But we all, at the end of the day, are born with the same thing. We're born with nothing. Obviously, some people are born into better parents, or richer families or whatever. But still, we should not penalize these people with elite talents of some sort, of any sort. We should not penalize them with that. So my take on income tax, it should be a flat 12% across the board for everyone. Everyone in this country, believe me, everyone in this country will spend more. Okay, we will spend more. We will be a happier fucking nation. So that is my take on that. And happy Valentine's Day to all you motherfuckers out there. We are out of here.
See ya.